My name is Spooki and I'm a top 500 Overwatch player. I've played Mauga for over 60 games with a 75% win rate, and let me tell you, this guy is a beast. With that being said, there are definitely some heroes and playstyles that do a great job at countering Mauga. Today, I'm going to go over how I play Mauga as well as the best ways to counter an enemy Mauga. First, I'm going to address some common misconceptions I've been hearing about Mauga since his release. Number 1, Mauga's actual strength. Although he pumps out a lot of damage, it's really his self-heal that makes him such a powerful tank. When Mauga lights a target on fire with Cha-Cha, his second gun, Gunny, is giving crit shots on that target. Those crit shots also give Mauga overhealth up to an additional 150 HP. As long as Mauga has something to shoot and consistently land shots on, it will feel near impossible to outdamage his self-heal. Number 2, using his charge improperly. The easiest way to tell an experienced Mauga versus a new Mauga is how they use their charge. His charge should be used as either A, an escape ability, or B, a chase ability. The common mistake that I see Maugas make is to use charge to get into a fight. Much like Moira Fade, Briggs Shield Bash, or Reaper Fade, 9 out of 10 of the times you should be using his charge to get out of a sticky situation. Additionally, in a Mauga v Mauga scenario, if you charge at an enemy Mauga, they will have an edge in that fight because by the time you end your charge, you will already be on fire, feeding their crit shots and overhealth. Number 3, you don't always need to jump at the end of your charge. Sometimes it is useful to get a nice boop, a little extra damage, or knock someone prone, but just as frequent, I find myself canceling my charge to quickly regain control of my hero so I can make a different play. Especially if you are using his charge to reposition, you'll find it much more useful to cancel before he does his jump. Now, onto the good stuff. How to win more games with Mauga. Despite being similar to Hog in a lot of ways, Mauga is actually much more of a slow tank. His playstyle reminds me a lot of how Orisa was played in Overwatch 1. You poke for a little bit, deny anybody that gets too close with your damage output and mitigation, and when an opportunity presents itself, you press W and you get aggressive. He's a great tank to play for people that understand managing cooldowns and the flow of a game. So let's break down how I use his kit to win engagements. First, his primary and secondary. At 10 meters, his primary and secondary used together are devastating. They can shred just about anything. If anything is within those 10 meters, I'm using both guns to maximize the pressure. After 10 meters, however, it is much more effective to alternate lighting the target on fire and then securing the crit shots. Using both drastically cuts down your accuracy and will make it much harder to get damage and overhealth. Next, his cardiac overdrive. This can be used in 2 ways. One, when you're getting low on HP or you can tell the enemy is out damaging your overhealth passive, use this to quickly regain HP as long as you're able to deal damage. If the enemy team can deny your damage, then you will receive minimal healing. Number 2, you can use it aggressively and give your team reduced damage and healing as well. This is great if you're a good communicator or your team is just really stacked up on each other and can rotate well together. Remember, if you don't think you'll be able to deal a lot of damage during your cardiac overdrive, it will probably be best to hold on to it unless you are in an emergency situation. Next, his ultimate. Similar to Mauga's charge, I see a lot of players making the mistake of using Mauga's ult by charging in and then triggering the cage. This very rarely works unless you can combine it with another powerful ultimate. Instead, you can use it defensively to catch enemies that have overextended, as well as provide your team with a massive shield. This is a much better risk versus reward scenario for Mauga players, and if you can secure 1 or 2 picks, it will usually result in a 1-team fight. Also, he gets his ultimate so quickly that it is totally fine to solo ult like a pesky hero. We're talking like Sombra, Genji, or if you just want to catch the enemy Mauga in a nice little cage fight. Now, on to how to counter Mauga. Although some picks are decent against Mauga like D.Va, Bastion, and Zenyatta, the best picks are heroes that have good kits against Mauga and have small or slender hitboxes. This will guarantee that Mauga will be pressured while also denying him his overhealth passive as well as massive cardiac overdrive healing. As a Mauga player, the biggest pains in my ass so far have been 1. Ana. Her nade completely denies Mauga's healing, which makes him a balloon ready to be popped, and he is very easy to target to hit consistent sleep darts on, much like Hog. Her small hitbox makes her very difficult for Mauga to damage. 2. Sombra. Her EMP is devastating against Mauga's cage fight and to deny him from using cardiac overdrive to heal. She can take off angles and farm her ultimate off Mauga safely while denying him any passive healing. 3. Hanzo. Hanzo is a better pick than Bastion because he has better range, better burst damage with Storm Arrow, and has a much less square hitbox than Bastion does. When Bastion is not in turret mode, he's very weak against Mauga. Hanzo does not have that problem. 4. Zarya. She will always have high charge. Her bubbles deny Mauga's self-healing, and most importantly, she has a thin hitbox, which makes Mauga less effective at close range than he would against more square tanks. These are all very good picks into Mauga, all other variables excluded. And that's the meat and potatoes of Mauga. I'll be working on a more fleshed out and official guide once I get closer to 100 plus games on Mauga and when I get to play him in comp. I'll also be doing an unranked to GM with Mauga once he's unlocked in rank, so if you're interested in seeing how I play, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel or come follow me at twitch.tv/TSG_Spooki. Would love to hear from you. That's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and leave a comment with a bunch of gibberish to help me in the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to keep it spooky, y'all. Peace.